We have a very special guest today, and I'm so happy to welcome Alicia Silverstone to Green Patriot Radio. Alicia, welcome.
Thank you.
So, your book, The Kind Diet, it's a wonderful book. What led you to write it?
I've just had all these tools for a very long time that have helped me so much, and I've been helping other people as well, my friends, and with all sorts of different conditions. And it just became apparent that this needed to get to a wider audience so that everyone could feel the magical benefits of this lifestyle.
Well, people might not understand what you mean by the kind diet, and why don't you talk a little bit about your diet and how you came to it?
Well, when I talk about, you know, the kind diet, what I mean is it's kind to you and it's kind to the planet. And it's really about putting yourself first and making your health your priority so that you can be the best you can be in your life. And the byproduct of that decision is that it really helps the planet. So what the kind diet really is looking at we in the book I sort of diagnose, like, look at, okay, these, well, first I'll hopefully really inspire you to want to feel your best and look your best and have these magical results that I had, which I can tell you about. But then I kind of go through what those foods are that we call the nasty foods, why they're nasty to your body, why they're nasty to the planet, and really break it down from a very, very clear medical point of view. I've got all kinds of amazing research in there, but it's all delivered in a really fun, palatable way. So you're digesting this information that's very vital and very, it's all fact, it's not my opinion, and it's all based on doctors' research and all that kind of stuff. But it happens to be in a really fun way. And then I go through the food, and then also the nasty, why they're nasty to the planet, looking at how they affect what's happening with methane, what's happening with the rainforest, what's happening with oil and water and all the production
But
that goes into raising our food. And then, but again, like I said, it's sort of a really easy, fun, engaging read while being informed with really clear, amazing information.
well,
And then,
it's Alicia. It's really easy to talk about this, but for many people, your number one nasty food is meat,
hmm
and this is such a meat-eating society. It,
yeah.
but I think what's really remarkable about your book is, and I have found this too. I'm not a vegan. I guess I'm in the flirt category.
Good.
So you have it's very that's what makes your book so fun is that you do have all you can be a flirt, a vegan, or a superhero. I guess you're aspiring to superhero status.
Yeah, I'm pretty much superhero most of the time, and then I fall off the wagon to vegan. um, but basically, I did that because I didn't want anyone to feel, what I want is for people to read this so they're armed with really amazing information, information that they should know that has the potential to change their lives so greatly. But then to know there's no pressure. You can be a flirt by the end of this. And what I mean by that is you can just dip your toe into the pool of this sort of plant-based diet. And you don't have to make any commitment. You're just sort of checking it out and seeing. But, once you have this information, it would be very hard to not want to do something
Well,
because this information will change your life. It'll make you so much healthier. And then, if you're interested in the environment, to ignore the food is ignoring the environment. It's one of the biggest contributors. So when the brilliant, I'm trying to think of his name, I never say it right. It's the guy from he's basically the chair of the United Nations Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change.
well,
He says,
yeah,
what's that?
yeah, whoever he is.
Yeah, his name's like Dr. Rajendra Pachauri, I think, but I just hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. But he says that if we were all to give up meat, that is the single most effective way to reduce climate change. That's what he's recommending people to do. But he's also saying if you just did it one day a week, that would be a better, step in the right direction. So this information is coming from all different places. When you look at the facts, like I'll give you some of my fun environmental facts, which are that it requires, in order to raise 1 pound of beef, just 1 pound, a 16-ounce steak, it requires the amount of water that you would shower in for 6 months. So that's out of control. I don't know about you, but I don't flush when I pee, and I'm really mindful when I'm brushing my teeth of the water I'm using. I'm really, really conscious of water. I'm trying to build rain catchers in my yard, and here we are using 6 months worth of showering water for 1 pound of beef. That's out of control.
And that's assuming people shower every day.
That's assuming you shower every day. And
Absolutely.
I certainly don't. And then when you look at the fact that oil, we use about 20, depending on the amount, because, roughly Americans eat, like you said, an insane amount of meat a year. It adds up to about 20 to 28 billion gallons of oil to produce that meat consumption for a year in America. That's a lot of oil. So when you talk about trying to get off of foreign oil, you really need to get off your steak. And so, I guess these are really hard things to take in, but I hope that I deliver them in the book in a really fun way, and then give you the best news of all, which is I'm not deprived in any way, shape, or form. I used to eat meat. I loved it, and I was on basically a steak and donut diet before I started this way of living. And so I understand that those things taste good, but what I didn't understand that I understand now is that there's all these other foods that I didn't even know about, all these amazing, delicious foods that taste just as good or better, and they don't have bad effects on my body and bad effects on the planet. So it's not about giving up, it's about finding new, exciting things, which I think we're all very ignorant to until you know. I just didn't know, and then once I did, I was like, this is amazing.
Well, and I think the great part about the book, The Kind Diet, we're talking with Alicia Silverstone. You know her from Clueless. Also, her MTV video with Aerosmith was voted the all-time video, and that's probably the most important honor for teenage boys across America, of course. But she's The Kind Diet is an amazing. What makes it really amazing, I think, is that you do give us a great alternative. The foods, the recipes, Alicia, are terrific. I mean,
Yeah.
you're not going to miss meat going with your recipes because they just look delicious.
Yeah, it
And
really is delicious. Almost every recipe is designed to make husbands and children and any grumpy family members thrilled. So as long as you're not announcing this big decision that you've made, and you just start kind of, slowly implementing these really delicious recipes, like, waffle sausage cheese panini that I have in there, or which is all plant-based, or soy chorizo tacos, or radicchio truffle oil pizza, my chocolate peanut butter cups, or Rice Krispie treats, or cheesecake, or whatever. I have so many amazing recipes, and I just promise you with all my heart that you're not going to miss out on taste. Taste is not going to be the thing that you're missing out on. And not only that, what you're going to gain is the healthiest life you've ever lived. You truly can make yourself. I mean, Dr. Colin Campbell and Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn and Dr. Dean Ornish and Dr. Joel Furman and John McDougall, all these doctors have been curing cancer and heart disease and diabetes for a very long time now using this diet. And the greatest thing of it all is, I don't know if any of your viewers find themselves on diets, but diets suck. The modern word diet, it means deprivation, it means calorie counting, it means, not loving yourself. It's like frustrating experience. And what I've done with this book, why I call it The Kind Diet, is because it's really about bringing you back to the core of your being and not actually being on a diet. Because the original word, well, not the original word, but in the 1600s when diet was introduced, the word, they meant the definition was a way of thinking or a day's journey, which I think is really beautiful. And so if we can restore that concept of diet and let people just have information about what this choice does. If I pick X, it's going to do this to my body, and I don't want that to happen. And I want to know what it feels like to be free of medication and doctors and, I want to know what it's like to not need coffee. If I want it, I can have it, but I don't need it because I feel balanced and connected to my heart and my healthiest and my skin's glowing.